working on a fish wheel. You see this device turning in the river current right here? Now, fish wheels were introduced into this part of the world by Western travelers over 100 years ago as a way of scooping salmon out of the water. It's like a fishing machine. And we'll show you how it works on a video a little bit later. We'll talk more about salmon before we stop at fish camp. We'll talk to Carissa before we go ashore. Directly ahead of us, and Vicki has a nice picture on television right there, you can see there's some islands out there. And that's another river. That is the Chena, the greatest glacier-fed stream in the world. The river that we're in now is the Chena River. It's fed by hot springs and by rainwater runoff. And down here, there's a certain amount of turbidity. The water has a real dark look to it. But you go up this river, the Chena, which goes right through Fairbanks, about 50 or 60 miles, and you come to the salmon spawning grounds. The river is typically clear, sparkling, and there's gravel beds. Those are things salmon need to reproduce, besides other salmon. Now, the adult salmon make their way from the Bering Sea all the way up this river. North of Fairbanks, they lay their eggs in the gravel beds. The adult salmon die once the eggs are fertilized, and then the little salmon turn around and go 1,200 miles from here to the Bering Sea, along the Salmon Yukon rivers, out into the North Pacific, where the salmon mature. And 4 to 7 years later, return to the very same stream where they started out. And it's the life cycle, migratory salmon. Now, ahead of us, you can see the rivers change color. Imagine if the Chena River starts out as clear water, pretty clear, right top of the sun, but the Salmon River runs clear. You can see Vicki's got a picture on television there. The water's kind of very gray. It's laden with very finely ground up rock called glacial flour. Now it starts out as the mountains in the Alaska Range. There's over 100 active glaciers feeding the Tanana River. And as the glaciers move, they pulverize the mountains into a fine powder. And that's that very fine silt. It makes up most of the riverbed and the valley floor. And so all of these mud bars that you see are just pulverized mica schist. Now the sandbar that you see in front of us is where Susan Butcher would bring the dogs to run. Dave Munson talked about letting the dogs run. They can cool off in the river. You don't have to worry about traffic or other animals. And it's really a great place for the dogs to run and play.